right, guys, this is the first time I'm officially talking to you guys, like, as a person. I'm so happy you have the page. You gave me some pride in my city. You gave me this and that, you know? I'm like, wow, I did that? Damn, okay. I've gotten stuff sent in that's very gruesome, very crazy, that honestly, I can't post some of this stuff from how crazy it is. Fighting with bats and stuff like that with each other, and you're just like pulling out machetes. I'm like, this cannot be Naples. And I look at the addresses sometimes, I'm like, dude, I'm like 2 miles away from this place. It's crazy. So thank you guys, all you guys.
Welcome, 239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. And we have a great guest today on this episode. This is going to be awesome. We're going to call him Rick, and he is Rick. Rick, just a little bit of background from Rick. Rick is the producer, man behind the Only in Naples 239 Instagram.
Yes, sir.
And this is a huge thing. Welcome, Rick. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the studio when you come in? Did you check it out?
It's legit, man. Like, you have the real deal over here, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, that's good. You know, and we are really glad that you're here. You probably don't even realize it, Rick, but how much you do for Naples. Do you realize how much you do for Naples? Because for those you don't know, Only in Naples 239 Instagram, it's an amazing account. People send stuff there all day long, and we're going to talk about that. But It really highlights what's going on in Naples, and it's real shit.
Yeah. It's real-time stuff, you know, nothing, you know, blurred out. You know, if it happens in Naples, I want to post it, obviously, like the appropriate stuff. But like, if it happens in Naples, I want to make sure that the community knows, you know?
Yeah, no, so we're going to talk a little bit more about it, but what are some of the things that you post? And first off, how did you come up with this idea to do this? Give me a little bit. I mean, I know other communities do, but tell me a little bit about that.
Well, a little background about me. I've been in Naples for a very, very long time. I think for like the last 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
Originally done from the East Coast. Okay. In the East Coast, we have a few Instagram accounts like this, you know, that kind of puts a name brand on the city, you know, wherever you're from, like Only in Dade, Only in Broward, et cetera. And it gives people like a sense of pride and community, you know? And it's kind of where I got the idea. I'm like, I moved here and I'm like, Naples doesn't really have anything like this, you know? Let me just try to start it up. And funny story though, actually started as a reptile page.
Well, there's a shit pile of reptiles running around this place.
Well, I used to like sell reptiles at the beginning, and you know, I kind of did like a little meme about it, and it did very well. And it wasn't even about reptiles; it was just like a meme about Naples, you know. And then it did very well, so I figured, hey, let me try it a couple more times, you know. And started to get a little bit more traction, more following, more likes, more comments. So I'm like, hey, I think this could work out, you know. So
yeah, but what happens in Naples? Like, I've been here for 33 years. Nothing happens in Naples.
That's the problem. So believe it or not, there's a lot of stuff that goes on the DL in Naples that either A, gets covered up, B, you don't hear about it, or people just don't know. There's no platform for you to know. Unless you watch, you know, the news, listen to the radio, you really won't know.
And that's watered down.
And that's very, very extremely watered down. And I didn't know how watered down it was until I started the page. So there's been a few things that I've posted on the page that have not been included. Like, there's certain stuff that goes on, like, I don't want to get too specific, but like stuff that goes on like in the Naples airport, stuff like that. I think you know what I'm talking about. That doesn't really get highlighted, which I understand, you know, it's a beautiful city, beautiful touristy city, but at the end of the day, it is a city, and with city comes certain stuff, comes action, comes drama, and there wasn't really a platform for that. And when I moved here, I was like, hey, you know, this is a great, I love Naples, honestly. As someone that's lived in many places in Florida, Naples is honestly top notch. You guys really don't know how good you have it here. It's really one of the best cities I've ever lived in. And I wanted to really highlight that. You know, it's like you guys have a lot that goes on here. When I first moved here, I remember everybody was like, Naples is boring. There's nothing that goes on here. This, that, and the third. But honestly, as someone that has been around Naples, I've met a lot of people in Naples. I've worked a lot of jobs in Naples. There's a lot of stuff that goes on here that you don't hear about. So I wanted to give it a platform for that, you know?
Yeah, no, and it's been great. And I gotta give a shout out and a comment. Being in law enforcement for a long time, 31 years. I mean, you see a lot of things. A lot of people send you
Oh
things,
yeah.
shit that's going on in Naples, and I caught that a lot. This is Naples, man. Why do we even need the police? I mean,
Right.
there's
Right.
nothing going on. Well, there's some shit going on now. It's not Miami. It's not Broward County, and there's a
Right.
reason why we like to keep it not like that, right? So
Right. Right.
and I think you'll agree with me. We jump in the car and let's go over and visit Broward. Let's go over
Right.
and go to Dade. But every single time I come back, I'm kind of like, thank God I live here,
Yeah,
right? You don't have to deal with
exactly.
that shit. But I got to give you, some kudos because you that I know of, you've never really ever given the law enforcement a negative vibe at all
Absolutely not.
since I've known about the Instagram.
Absolutely not. I do smoke weed and stuff like that, but honestly, law enforcement has come in clutch very often for me. I have had my troubles back in the day, but at the end of the day, law enforcement has really come through for me a lot. And I back the blue, like you guys put up with a lot of shit, man. You guys really do. And the law enforcement, especially in Naples, is very frowned upon, very like, oh, why are they this? Why are they that? But you know what? Like you guys really come in clutch when we need you. So I love the blue, man.
Well, that means a lot too. And you see it raw, right? You see
Oh
these
yeah.
guys out putting out fires, grabbing gators,
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah.
tigers. I'm not
You name
laughing
it,
at. I
man.
mean, there's some shit going on, and
Yeah.
then it's funny because the bad guys do come over from Dade and Broward, and they come over here and they do a robbery and they try to shoot back across
Yeah.
the alley or
Yep.
41, and sometimes you're the first one that gets that information.
Absolutely. And it's not just from Miami-Dade, not just from Broward County, not just from Lee County. Honestly, when I started the page, I didn't know it that at that time, but Naples has its stuff that people don't know about. I get sent People send me stuff that I'm like, this cannot be Naples. Like, there's no
Yeah,
way this
yeah.
is Naples. And I look at the addresses sometimes. I'm like, dude, I'm like 2 miles away from this place. It's crazy. So I've gotten stuff sent in that's very gruesome, very crazy, that honestly, I can't post some of this stuff from how crazy it is. I've gotten people sent me live, fights and stuff in the middle of like 41. I've gotten people, fighting with bats and stuff like that with each other. And you're just like pulling out machetes. I'm like, this cannot be Naples. This is some shit you would see like in Miami, but Naples has its stuff, man. I've seen some stuff, people wrestling gators in their house and stuff. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, so let's go into that, and then
yeah,
we'll come back.
absolutely.
How do you vet this stuff? How do you get people sending you shit all the time, right?
Right.
So they're like sending you these different, captures and videos and pictures, and how do you go through them and decide which one's going to make it to the page?
From my own entertainment perspective, like I know what I would like to see in a platform like that, and I just kind of go off of that. Like if you post, like, for example, if you post like someone in a park the wrong way, I feel like, like I'm not gonna post that. That's kind of dumb. It's kind of like a waste of my story's time. No offense, guys. I
Yeah,
appreciate.
we've sent one into you, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think you fucking nixed it.
I'm sorry. Like I appreciate.
But we got a lot of views on that one.
Yeah. I appreciate everything you guys send me, by the way. I really do. You guys, I honestly have one of the strongest, I realize that. So I have one of the strongest fan base, which I didn't know until which we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah,
I didn't know until my page got hacked how strong my fan base was.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything you guys send me. The little stuff, the big stuff, the boring stuff, the fun stuff. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, so that goes back. Now we want everybody listening to this. We have quite a few people that like our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We need you more subscribers. It's building that up. I kind of do this for like a hobby, but fun. But I think it's a good opportunity. I'll do charities. I'll do folks like you that are bringing positive energy to the community. We're doing. We've got Sam who's going to be doing a lot of our sports stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We've got a lot. How to a person that doesn't know how to use Instagram that well, how do I get something to you?
Usually you guys would just tag me on your personal story.
Right.
As long as your page is not private, you could tag me. I'll see it. I'll filter it and then I'll post it.
Right.
You could send it to me to the DMs and stuff like that. I just have Instagram for right now. So
Okay.
that's my
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And what I want to do, and we talked briefly about it, but I'd really like to, like, feed off each other.
Right.
Obviously we'll push you guys, whatever you got. And we do you see breaking a little bit, they send something, but we really want to work with you, and it's a great opportunity for us. If we see something on yours, we're going to say, hey, check that out. Only in Naples 239. Get it on Instagram. But it's great. So let's go back a little bit. Now you had your fan base.
Yeah.
And it's big, right? It was up to like 40,000, right? It was
almost at 40,000, yeah, which is, if you look at the logistics, it's like 1/8 of the population of Collier County.
Yeah.
It was huge, and I had a lot of people. They still know about the page. It's just that because of that, I have to like rebuild it. A lot of people don't know that the page got hacked.
Exactly.
So in their head, they're like, oh, I'm still following only in Naples, but the page got hacked. I had to start a new one. The name brand is there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that my page got hacked. So yeah.
How does that happen when you get the hack? I mean, obviously, did someone get the password somehow or whatever, or they guessed it? What happened? I mean, you can't call Instagram and say, hey, freaking help me out here.
I tried, man.
It's like talking to nobody.
You're literally talking to nobody, man. And it's kind of like a hopeless thing at that point. So, funny story about when my page got hacked. I was in the middle of my shift at work when I found out. I was serving. I was serving tables.
Oh shit!
And my manager was one of my biggest fans at that time, and he was like, "Hey, Rick, what was this shit you just posted on your page? It's like some pyramid scheme shit." I'm like, "What? I haven't posted anything today. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah, check it out." And he showed me. I'm like, "I didn't post that." So I went to the service station. I checked my phone, and I was logged out of my Instagram. And I was like, no fucking way. So whatever. I went to my email. They hacked my email. They hacked my Instagram. Whoever did it knew what the fuck they were doing. It wasn't some amateur. They knew what the fuck they were doing. They went to my email because, for Instagram, when you change your password and everything, you got to like accept it through your email and stuff like that. They did all of that. And yeah, that was when I found that out, I kind of like started having a panic attack. I'm over here taking my table's order, and my eyes are just like this wide, and I'm just freaking out. And that was a really bad day, I remember. And once I found that out, I got sent home that day. I immediately started to contact Instagram, like, hey, what's going on?
Who do you contact?
Well, that's the problem. There's no phone number.
Fucked up, right?
It's fucked up. It's no number. It's you literally just emailing a machine, which you're hoping to God gets back to you, and you got to send like a bunch of fucking paperwork and shit. And you're just like, at that point, I figured I was fucked. I'm like, all right, it's done. It ran its course. I tried. It did it happened. I can't really do anything at that point. And she'll tell you, for a very long time, I just was like, all right, it's done. It's done. For like 2 weeks, I was like, all right, this is it. Let me just continue with my life type shit. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I had such supportive friends, such supportive, beautiful girlfriend, I honestly would probably not have been where I am today, because I was going to just give up, to be honest. But a lot of people were like, look, this isn't just about you type shit. Like you kind of give a voice to Naples, and you have no, like you told me when you first walked in here, like, you don't know what you did for Naples. Like I said, I didn't know back then. I really didn't. To me, it was just an Instagram page. It was just let me just post this, let me just post that. But I started to see it's not just a page. It's putting Naples on the map. It's giving people a sense of pride in this city. It's giving people a voice in their city. It's giving the community a voice in their city. And that's my number one thing right now with the page. It's community. So with that in mind, I was like, I got to restart the page. There's no way. Even if I have to start from scratch.
Thank God you did.
Right. Thank you. But it was hard, man. It really was hard.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Well, I had a similar story. Like I had a page, it was a roll call to goes, and still on YouTube. I got 25,000 subscribers. I used to pull some pursuits and chases, and most of them were from public domain, right? So they
Yeah.
were, you know, I was able to pull these and I was able to use the videos. But the problem was if somebody just goes and says, hey, that's copyright, they push a little button, right?
Mhm.
Then now I have to prove where I got the
Mhm.
video from. And I really can't
Right.
prove it because it's from Florida Highway Patrol.
Right.
And I was making bank on YouTube. I had 25,000 subscribers, I think, and maybe there's even 30 now.
Mhm.
But I haven't posted there in a long time because what happened is the day before you get paid, somebody hits a little copyright thing, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, you get blocked,
Yeah.
and your check doesn't come.
Right.
So I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, with our own content, it's got to rebuild,
Right.
but it's a frustrating process. And like you said, you're not going to go after YouTube. You're not going to go after
No.
TikTok. You're not
Right.
going to go after Instagram.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're just like, hey, this
you
is
gonna do?
Rick from
Yeah.
Naples calling. You know,
Yeah.
start my shit back up again. How were you able to keep your handle?
I honestly didn't know. I winged it. I'm just like, let me just try. I gotta at least try. And I remember, well, the handle, if you look at the handle, it has a dot.
Okay.
Between the 239.
Yeah.
The original one just had only dot in Naples
Okay.
239.
Got it.
So I kind of made it similar. Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. No, that was good. That worked out. Now, so what are you doing to build that up now? I mean, obviously you're putting yourself out now, and I think you're right. A lot of people just don't know it didn't go away.
Right.
So you got to kind of just find a way to just let people know, hey, subscribe again.
And they're following. They little by little, they're starting to follow it.
Yeah, that's good. Let's go back. What was one of the most memorable posts, and what's some of the crazy shit that you've had people send you? I mean, do you get like some shit like that's like provocative, sexy?
Yeah.
You said grotesque. I mean, what's some shit that you have seen?
Well,
that you can tell us about?
Baby, I love you. This is before you. I would get some.
His girlfriend's in the studio. We don't have her on camera, but we see her. He's scared shitless, by the way. He's scared shitless. Yeah.
I used to get some, like I said, some very inappropriate stuff sent to me that, number one, Instagram will take down anyways. Number two, it's not about booze and stuff like that. Girls sending me stuff, like I wouldn't post that on the page. It has nothing in
that goes in your personal phone.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, it doesn't. But like it has nothing to do with Naples.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And at the end of the day, I wanted to, that's why, guys, I've never showed my face, because it's not about me. It's not about Rick. It's about Naples.
I love that.
Always been about the community since the beginning. It's always been about the Naples.
Yeah. So. And that's important. What's one of the ones that really went huge, like crazy?
Oh,
like,
the riots, man.
The riots were big.
The BLM riots. I think was it like a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. Yeah.
And
I was, by the way, I was in the command center when you were doing all that stuff. And but nothing bad, you know.
And keeping all political things aside, I just posted it because it was something that was going on in Naples.
You have to.
Yeah. And it gained, like, people knew what was going on and gaining traction. People knew what was going on. So it wouldn't make sense for me not to post it. I tried to keep all politics out of it, all religion out of it. Like, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with Naples. But it was something that was going on in Naples. And you can't see it now because obviously the page is deleted, but it had like fucking 200 comments about it.
Wow.
In Naples, you know, like, and these are not just like random people. There's people you guys went to school with. These are family members. These are people that everybody knows. You guys all know each other over here. So it's like, you know, it gained a lot of, I guess, like, publicity. You know, that's when my page really started to take off. I remember I gained like fucking 5,000 followers within like a week.
That's cool feeling.
Which was, even for my standards, is phenomenal. You know, it was like, what? This is crazy. And then we had the Cuban riots last year, and anything that has to do with like what's going on in the city like that. I remember when the tornadoes hit a few years ago and stuff. Anything that has to do like with action, stuff like that, people really seem to, okay, this is going on. I had no idea this shit goes on in Naples, you know?
Yeah. So give me your rundown of your day. Do you like do this shit in the morning, do it 24/7? I mean, because I mess around with, I like TikTok, right? So I like YouTube back the day. Facebook is old people like me like Facebook, right? But it's kind of cool and people like stuff. I'm not gonna lie. But when you hit something that's really big and you're like, oh shit, this is cool, kind of gives you adrenaline to do more. Right. And a lot of people are sending you stuff. When do you do it? Like, are you constantly like putting shit up? Because you got to be kind of
Right.
quick, right?
Absolutely. And she'll tell you sometimes she gets annoyed because we're trying to have like a date night, or sometimes we're just trying to vibe and hang out.
Baby, it's
And
my
I'm like,
job. It's my job,
that's
baby.
exactly what I tell her. That's exactly what I tell her. I'm like, babe, give me like 5 minutes. Like, let me just, because sometimes when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I do. I check it, making sure nothing happened overnight
Right.
that I should post. And I go on with my day. I check it like maybe every so often, and then I post. Exactly. Real quick, like whenever I have time.
Yeah, no, because it never really ends because
It
you got
doesn't.
people sending you stuff all the time.
Constantly,
Yeah.
constantly. Now, what you see that I post is not everything that people send me.
No, I'm sure.
So like if I have, for example, if I put 10 things on my story, you can best believe they send me 200 things that day.
200?
Like about 200,
Holy
150.
shit.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard sometimes. It's like sometimes I got to go through all the DMs. Sometimes it's just like emojis and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like, hey, can you promote my business? Or sometimes it's like haters. So it's like I got to go through all the DMs, making sure nobody sent me something important. Once that's done, then I can move on with my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. So, like you said, you can't put everything on. What's something like we talked about absolutely not going on there?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be approved by Instagram, but you just don't want it to be a part of it. You talked a little bit about religion, politics, things like that. You like the funny shit, right? For the most part.
Funny shit,
Yeah, or the cop working out in the street busting his butt on the fire or something.
Yeah, like entertainment, guys. Remember, at the end of the day, I post what goes on in Naples, and I have my own political views, but I keep that shit out.
I think it's a good idea.
I keep that shit out, dude. Like sometimes I'll post stuff like because it's funny, like you'll see people like, oh, F, I'm not gonna say it, but fuck, and then I'm like, oh, I mean, the way they're doing it is kind of funny, but if they just send like a blatant like F this, I'm like, that's just politics, right?
Yeah, straight up politics. Yeah, it's not there. So let's talk a little bit about in pushing it a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in the future that you're any aspirations to
Absolutely.
And I don't want to give away any secrets. We'll talk about them offline, but I could see where you could really take this thing to a different level.
Me and her were talking, and I kind of want to use this as the announcement type deal. So moving forward, like I said, it's always been about the community. So I want to give back. There's a lot of underprivileged kids in Naples. I know one personally, and they go through a lot of shit, man. I know it's Naples. It's a nice, rich, beautiful city, but we got our shit. Not everyone is rich. Not everyone has a privileged life. So starting this summer, and I'm going to do it every summer. I'm going to start it probably July? June. I'm going to do it in June, a school drive. So I'm trying to find, I already got a North Naples location. I'm meeting up with someone tomorrow, actually, to set up a Golden Gate location. School drop-off supplies.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know kids that unfortunately have had to go to school without a book bag, that have feel like they have no hope in school because they're like, fuck, I don't even have a fucking pen to my name, Yeah. So I want to.
Or they have to wear the same clothes.
Same clothes, not like a book bag, not even a piece of paper.
Crayon paper, yeah.
And it's not their fault. It's just they can't, and I feel bad for that. And I was never, thank God, I was never one of those kids, but I've seen it firsthand. And I've seen what a difference just a simple book bag could fucking make, man. Just a fucking notebook. What a difference it could make for someone's life. So starting every summer, starting around June, I'm going to have 3 locations. I already got the North Naples location set up for like the estates and stuff. I'm trying to set up something in Golden Gate, and I'm trying to set up in something for South Naples for my Bayshore kids, for my Manor kids, that don't have that money, that don't have those parents that could get that for them. So guys, when I launch, I'm announcing it on the page. When I do these locations, you could drop it off. We're gonna accept pens, paper, supplies, book bags, stuff like that. Anything that's school related that could help someone. Just because you had it in school doesn't mean that someone else has it in school. So I'm gonna have these locations. Also, merchandise. I personally didn't want to do it, but I've had the need for it. Like a lot of people are like, hey, when are you gonna do a shirt for Naples and stuff like that? And my girlfriend's beautiful at designing stuff. She has like a couple designs that she could, me and her have come up together. So we're thinking about that. And it's not gonna be something like that. Like I like my logo, don't get it wrong, but I'm not gonna have something that says only in Naples. I want to have something fashionable that you could wear, that that you're gonna be proud of,
Yeah.
But most importantly, I want to start helping out the community a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's great. And I'm gonna extend my help on that. If anything you need up here, like you said, I know you said you had a North Naples drop off point,
Yeah.
but if you need to use this place for something like that, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're wide open, doors wide open as far as anything you need. And we, in the 239 Uncensored podcast, we do a lot of that stuff. I'm a member of the board for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I got a little brother. And like you said, a lot of people think Naples is just, super privileged, which it is, but there's a lot of kids that truly need, matter of fact, our school system has a lot of kids that need, some assistance. And I worked in the schools, part of my law enforcement career. And, there's kids that just fail to go to school because they just don't have more, they have one set of clothes.
Right. They're embarrassed.
Or they don't have pens, like you said, or paper, and they're embarrassed. And, maybe they don't have the things that other kids have, even the hygiene products, things like that,
simple
so
simple stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a little thing we can do. And we get caught up in the whole Naples thing about, this place is beautiful, everybody here. And I've, oh, you live in Naples? You're rich. I'm like, nah. I mean, I do okay because, I'm fortunate. I've been blessed, but, we're not all rich. We're not all rich, but no, it's good. So there's a lot of potential. I mean, just some of the things that come in to you, and how do you decide, or we talked about how you decide, but how do you know it's like authentic Naples? Do you kind of like look for signals, or you kind of try to figure out where they're from?
I'm pretty familiar with Naples. You guys send me some stuff.
Sometimes some shit you can't get that for sure.
Like this isn't really Naples. I can't really post it. Like it wouldn't make sense. Like I'm not gonna post something from Orlando, like it wouldn't make sense. But I've been around Naples for a while. I can kind of identify, like, all right, that looks like Naples. That's not Naples. Or I look for the streets behind in the videos, like, all right, that's Golden Gate in the back. Cool.
Yeah, right. You kind of get the main thoroughfares down and all that stuff. Yeah. So no, it's been a pleasure. I mean, just talking to you and kind of listening to some of the things, and it's just one of those things that we have. So I'm gonna pledge to get that. We got to get that back up to 39,000 plus 50,000. So let's, if you guys aren't doing it right now, just go in real quick while you're listening to this podcast, go to Instagram, hit only.in.naples.239. And, you type half of it in and you get it. Get it back on, and start submitting shit. Make him work for everything.
Make me work, guys. Make me work.
Yeah, send him some good stuff.
Make me busy.
Yeah, make him busy. And we're gonna have a lot of fun, and we'll go back and forth, and we'll post stuff and put it on our page, and anything we can do, we're there for you.
Absolutely. Do you mind if I add something to that real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. This is the first time I'm officially talking to you guys, like, as a person, and I just want to say I can't begin to tell you what a difference you guys made in my life. Naples, like, I had no idea. You opened my eyes as too, like, it's news for you guys, but it's news for me too. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I didn't know went on here. Honestly, you guys already made a difference in my life. You guys gave me, like, motivation. You guys really make my day. You guys don't realize how much you make my day. Yes, I get some haters, but out of the 10 haters, I get 100 comments, likes, and messages that are just like, hey, I'm so happy you have the page. You gave me some pride in my city. You gave me this and that. I'm like, wow, I did that? Damn, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much. I honestly appreciate all you guys. I appreciate my haters too, because at the end of the day, you guys still like my stuff. You guys still comment. So thank you guys, all you guys.
Yeah, no, and we got the studio full. You guys can't see them all, but Sam, got to give him credit. He pulled some, pulled you down.
Thank you, Sam.
And then we're all good. And anytime, you're welcome anytime. So if you get something really big, make sure you come.
Absolutely.
And then in the drive, let's do the drive.
Okay.
So make sure you come on here and say, hey, we need the drive. You can take clips, put them on Instagram, anything you want. You got it. So we always do this little thing at the end, but we do a little dap, but we'll do it in a set. All right, 229 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. And we're out. Yeah. Woo.